Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. I am your host, Sam Randazzo, and I am back in studio and joined beside my two Rogaine-needing co-hosts. To my right, it is the one and only Uncle Sam.
Hello.
And to my left, smashing his own grapes, milking his own udder, it is Bruce, the tugboat Venditti.
What's going on? You know, my dad said the other during Christmas we were watching a Rogaine commercial, and he said that stuff actually works. I was actually quite.
I'm
shocked.
not surprised there. I'm not surprised. We are back in studio for today, at least, and good thing because there is just so much shit going on right now, all at once. I really don't even know where to begin. But there's one spot where I feel like we need to begin, so let's get right into it and start off there. Bills safety Damar Hamlin. Obviously, we've heard a lot of good news about him over the last couple of days. This morning, they removed his breathing tube. He is breathing on his own. He spent the morning talking to various teammates on FaceTime and is delivering a message to the entire team now via FaceTime. So it looks like he's doing great. I'm sure he's not 100% out of the woods yet, but from the looks of it, he made a pretty incredible, amazing recovery in a very short amount of time.
The group of guys that on that training staff for Buffalo that went out there saved that kid's life. Normally, people at 24 years old have cardiac arrest. They don't live through it. So God bless him. He's alive. He's well. And it's time to move on.
Yeah. Physicians at the University of Cincinnati said that his progress has been nothing short of remarkable.
Yeah.
And his neurological function remains completely intact, and he is talking to his team like any other person would be without doing that.
They got to him quick. They got to him quick, and
Yep.
they saved his life.
That's the real miracle about it, is the fact that
that all the brain function is there.
Oh, yeah. That's what happened. You know what? The kid's in shape. 24 years old. You know, you're invincible when you're 24.
So here we are. Thankfully, he is good. That's what everybody's hoping for. Power of prayer has worked. Now, with that said, obviously there's a ton of ramifications that came from not playing that game. And I want to apologize in advance if there's any background noise today. We have some serious construction going on above our heads at the moment. So apologies in advance for that. But it's week 18. It's the last week of the regular season. Obviously, we had a huge situation with that Monday night game in week 17. That game has been officially canceled, will not go on the books.
Good.
Essentially, the Bills and Bengals will play one less game than everybody else this year. Sorry. And so with that happening, the NFL had to come up with some sort of contingency plan to make this fair for everybody involved. Obviously, that game would have had massive implications on playoff seeding, on home field advantages, on everything. So they tried to come up with a fair way, which realistically there is no 100% fair way, great way to go about this, but I think they tried to do the best they could. So this is the statement they released yesterday. I'm going to try and break it down without all of the bullshit jargon in it. But Roger Goodell essentially talked to the NFLPA and talked about a way to make this work. He started out by saying that game essentially did not determine any teams getting in or getting eliminated from the playoffs. Okay, so which we all kind of knew that. If they would have, they threw around the option of postponing the playoffs for a week.
Stupid.
But that would have affected all 14 teams in the playoffs. So what you would have had is whoever did get that first round bye, which at the current moment is Philadelphia and Kansas City, they would have had 2 weeks off. In my opinion,
Stupid.
2 weeks off is more of a disadvantage than an
Correct.
advantage.
I agree.
Okay? That would have just kind of I feel like you're losing
you would
the
see
momentum.
two teams come out so flat
Right.
that it would be disgusting.
And then every other team outside of Cincinnati and Buffalo would have gotten the divisional week off. So
Right.
that now you have Cincinnati and them. At the end of the day, that game, even though it was done 10 minutes in, that game they still had to travel for. They still
Right.
had to warm up for. They still had to go through all of the shit that comes along with going to a game. Then you tack on the extra game. Nobody gets the playoff bye, and all these other teams get to rest up for a week. I don't know how that would have went. I think that would have altered everything.
I don't think it's fair at all.
No.
I don't think it's fair at all. The bottom line is this. Through the AFC playoffs are all going to play at neutral sightings.
Well,
So
AFC Championship game will be played at a neutral site if the participating teams played an unequal number of games. So essentially, what that means,
if it has anything to do with Cincinnati or Buffalo, they're playing at a neutral.
they're playing at a neutral site. Right. So,
So guess what? Is that fair to Kansas City? No.
but
No. But you know what?
Fuck Kansas
Too bad.
City.
So sad. Patty Mahomes doesn't need any more of an advantage anyway.
agree.
We all know the road of the playoffs going through Kansas City anyway.
So,
But it is what it is. Listen, the bottom line is this. The NFL, God bless them. They're a money machine. Money is the most important thing. I was surprised they didn't add the teams like they were going to talk about, add another playoff spot, because all that does is generate more money for them. They were going to do that. They decided not to.
well, here's the other thing. So, obviously, for some reason, Ford Field has become the home of the neutral site. And because the Lions, even if they do make the playoffs, cannot host the game, they had already planned to rip out all of the turf as soon as the regular season is over and replace it with new turf for next year. So Detroit is out.
Okay.
As it just came out a few minutes ago.
Dope.
Detroit is out as the host of any.
I got a question there.
Neutral
What
site
if
field.
Detroit makes the playoffs then?
They won't have a home game
Yeah.
They won't have a home game. Interesting.
because they'd be the last wild card seed.
Interesting.
So
That's the only place where they win is at home. Does that make any fucking goddamn sense?
now there's one more kink in all of this. Baltimore plays Cincinnati this week.
Correct.
Okay, and obviously we know the situation with Baltimore. Lamar Jackson won't be playing. Realistically, I don't think they have what it takes to beat Cincinnati this week. We'll talk about that here shortly when we get into our picks. But if Baltimore wins, they will have beaten their division opponent twice. Will have close to the same record, but because Cincinnati played one less game, their winning percentage will be higher. So technically, they will still win the division. They are the division champion as of today.
Unbelievable.
But Baltimore will have two win advantage on them. Now, if those two clubs do play each other in the wild card round, which could happen, the home game will be determined by a coin toss.
Interesting.
So rather than give it to Cincinnati because they have a higher winning percentage or give it to Baltimore because they beat them twice, they're just going to do it to a coin toss, which I don't have a big problem with that. I don't. Now, they also said that it was very important that they get this done before Week 18 so there's no confusion
I don't.
going into this.
Here's the thing. This incident happened in a Monday night game. Why these two teams did not play on that following Thursday, I'm flabbergasted by it.
Well, see, I thought about that too, and
Listen to me. Let's all be honest. They could have played that game on that Thursday, and we wouldn't be hearing any of this right now.
But I thought about that too. If they played that game last night, because it is Friday
Correct.
morning, so they would have played that game last night.
Which at that point, Damar was doing a lot better at that point.
He was.
They could have played that game last night.
I agree.
And
with you.
if they would have done that, we wouldn't be going through all this hoopla right now.
I agreed with you, except for one.
I already know. I heard the reports.
They would
The
have.
players chose not to do that.
Well, either way, say they took that out of it and said, "Hey, you guys are playing this game Thursday night." Then we're in a situation where they're playing on Thursday and then coming back out and playing either Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. Probably
Okay.
Saturday out because there's no way they would have done it. So say
Well,
Monday.
Here's the thing: the only team that was neither of those teams were scheduled to play Saturday.
Correct. So if they would have
They had a short week.
they would have been on 3 days rest. And hypothetically,
Happens.
no, it doesn't.
Every team that plays a Thursday night game, it happens to.
No, it doesn't.
Just about.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
There's
So if you play on that Thursday,
you're not playing
what if
until
you're playing
the
on
following
Monday?
weekend. But see, it doesn't work like
it's
that.
4 days.
But you don't play Thursday and then Monday. It's the same week still.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
You can
Monday
play.
starts the following.
You can play Sunday
Yeah,
and then
you're
Thursday.
right. You're right.
It would.
Okay.
There's never a chance.
My
where
bad.
It's a 3.
I
And
don't think it would have been a bad
hypothetically-
thing, but-
Hypothetically, if somebody gets hurt in that Monday night game on a short rest, there would have been nothing but ridicule and everybody up in arms about how they forced these guys to go out there on 2 or 3 days rest and somebody got hurt.
The NFL way.
So I'm good with the way they did this. There was really no good solution to this. That therein lies the problem. Because I agree with everything they said about how if you push it back a week, you're giving either an advantage or a disadvantage somewhere. This realistically is the fairest way to do it because all three of those AFC teams.
They should have
at
completed the
top,
game. They should have completed the game when it happened.
Either way,
Well,
it's that in
what it is.
retrospect, that's all.
Is what it is.
Is what it is. This was the best way for them to go about it.
Yeah.
So now
I heard an interesting thing about bringing the blue tent out on the field when they're administering any kind of
treatment on the
treatment
field.
on a player.
I saw that.
I
as
don't
well.
have an issue with that. I like that. I like that idea because that little tent's got holes in it. You can see outside. But, I mean, what's being done with the player is
Making it nice and
Private.
comfortable for them.
no, but it's private.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's private, and I think they should do that because that thing is
Didn't
very
Aaron Rodgers
portable.
start it?
It doesn't take any kind of time to get it set up. I mean, you can just roll it right out over the top of the guy.
Right.
It's fine. I think that's what they should do. Players shouldn't have to see that stuff.
Well,
They shouldn't have to see that stuff.
to that point, there is a meeting happening, an emergency meeting today happening amongst
Yes.
NFL ownership and PA and all the people that matter to discuss how to go about situations like this in the
Correct.
future and make alterations to what
And
they
yes,
have now.
and in the offseason, they need to get together.
Well, they're doing it
and
today.
put
They're not
together-
wasting time.
Oh, they're not wasting time.
They're not
Okay.
wasting time.
I just hope they don't come up with something really dumb.
I don't think they will.
Well, if it's this quick and it's them,
They
it's
hand,
probably
you know
gonna be
what?
Stupid.
At the end of the day, the only mistake that they really made here was when they originally came out and said, "Oh, we're going to pause for 5 minutes and everybody's going to go back out there." That was
Right.
what got all of
I
the
don't
ridicule.
think anything
They
was
should have just
really
kept their
wrong.
mouth shut. But other than that, I think they handled this pretty flawlessly. I will say. And in the Roger Goodell tenure, there's not that many things that you can say that towards. But I think they handled this pretty well.
Yeah, because like, what are they gonna do? Every time a guy goes down, they're gonna bring the blue tent out there. And start the
Absolutely.
game?
Absolutely.
Every time.
Every
I'm
time.
down for my ankle.
No,
they're gonna
I
bring the
mean,
fucking
listen to
blue
me.
tent
If
out.
they think it's a serious injury where they got to get
How
an
do you know?
ambulance
When
and a
they're hurt,
board
they're
out there,
supposed to
the
lay
blue
down.
tent should be out.
When they're hurt, they're supposed to lay down.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm not talking about when a guy pulls his hamstring. I'm talking about a guy when he's injured on the ground, immobilized, and not moving. Bring the tent out.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Hopefully, we see a resolution to
you
some of
gotta
these
know
things.
when that is.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea. but
That's not a bad idea.
You gotta know because some of
Listen,
these
when,
guys
play,
get winded
when
and
players see other players injured,
hamstring, but
that's not a good thing. When players see other guys injured and it's serious, it plays hell on them because they're thinking, "Oh shit, that can happen to me."
In other news,
Thank you.
okay? The Jets have announced that quarterback Joe Flacco will start this weekend against Miami Dolphins.
God bless Joe Flacco.
So we're going to have a Joe Flacco versus Skylar Thompson game to decide a playoff spot essentially this weekend. Nick Sirianni has told reporters this morning that quarterback Jalen Hurts is quote-unquote trending in the right direction to play Sunday against the Giants.
Don't play him. If their Giants ain't playing their guys, they shouldn't play theirs.
The Browns sent home Jadeveon Clowney this morning. He will not practice or play for the rest of the year. He said yesterday that he was 99% sure he would not be back in Cleveland next season.
Okay.
So
That's it? They just sent them home and he said
yeah.
he's not going to be there?
Yeah, go home.
Okay. I don't know what that. Go home. That's what this league's come to. Go home.
go home.
Go home.
Just get the fuck out.
Just get out.
So
Just play center.
now, and just to this credit,
Yeah.
one of the best things about this whole story is Damar Hamlin waking up in the hospital and grabbing his little pen and paper, and the first thing he asked was who won the game. That's a real
won.
football guy right there.
He
won.
fucking won.
He won.
He won.
Yep.
Being able to ask who won, he won.
Yep. Having all extremities, having complete neurological wherewithal still. Awesome. Great ending. Close to ending for a really, really, really shitty story. There's also one other piece of news I want to talk about. There's a rumor circulating right now amongst Dolphins higher-ups that Mike McDaniel's job is in question for next year. And I have to talk about this real quick. If they fire this guy, they are one of the worst run organizations in football. And guess what? If they do that, that's when you throw everything at Stephen Ross, because that motherfucker has a plan if they fire this guy. I'm not going to lie to you. Obviously, the Dolphins went from 8-3 to 8-9 and might not make the playoffs. But I will say this.
They were missing their starting quarterback.
They have dealt with
7 games this year.
They have dealt with more injury bullshit than any other team in the league.
I agree with
All right? Tua has been an absolute ragdoll. Realistically, if you're going to reconsider anybody going into next year, it's Tua, not based on performance, based on health.
Correct.
You don't know if you can trust him to be out there for you can't trust him to be out there for a 17-game season. So, but if they fire Mike McDaniel after the year that this guy had and all of the turmoil that went on with injuries there, I'm sorry. I personally
think changing over the entire team, basically.
Yeah.
You've changed over your whole wide receiver staff just about. You've changed that over. Your defense, you've changed half of that over.
Right.
So I don't get how a guy can win 8 games and being on the verge of making the playoffs get fired.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Stephen Ross is a fucking scumbag.
He is.
He is.
Because
he's made the scumbag ownership Hall of Fame.
This situation with Mike McDaniel, I truly look at him as a coach and what they did this year. I think he's one of the best football minds in the league right now.
I get it. He's a little weird. He's a little off.
Yeah,
I get it.
But that's I'm cool with that.
The good coaches are.
Coaches are. You want to talk about a guy who's should be on the bubble coaching wise? Let's talk about Mike Vrabel, who year after year,
Mike Vrabel.
Yeah,
there's a big list. There's a very, very big fucking list of
Cliff
coaches.
Kingsbury.
Thank you.
You know, you want to talk about coaches that need to be on a hot seat? Those are coaches that should be on a hot seat. The Tennessee Titans, year after year after year, come out and take the world by storm and then always shit the bed. They are the kings, besides the Dallas Cowboys, they are the kings of shitting the bed. You want to talk about coaches like that, talk about that. Don't talk about a first-year guy who, if we remember, in the offseason, had nothing but ridicule because of what his fucking creepy, crusty-ass owner did.
What about Mike McCarthy? Anybody going to bring up the big, giant fucking elephant in the room? It's him.
Well, guess what? If they do what I think they're going to do, he might be gone too. But
I think if they go out in the first round and get their tanks handed to them there, playing the fucking 7 seed, they need to go.
Either way, God bless fucking Mike McDaniel.
Ron Rivera, who didn't even know his fucking team was eliminated last week.
Who decided it was a good idea?
He didn't even know they were eliminated.
Who decided it was a good idea to play Carson Wentz?
Jesus Christ, he deserves to be fired just for that.
Awful, dude. That was bad. Absolutely awful.
Carson Wentz? My God.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the actual games, the ramifications of all of this, everything, because there is a shitload to break down here.
What are we going to do? Saturday's games.
Let's start with Saturday.
4:30.
Saturday at 4:30, Kansas City is heading to Vegas to play the Raiders. Kansas City currently a 9.5-point favorite. Over/under in this game is 52.5.
The Raiders are eliminated.
The Raiders are eliminated. The Raiders are done.
They got a chance to throw a big monkey wrench into everything this week.
Here's the thing. Kansas City loses this game, they are 13-4. And then hypothetically, we're in a situation now where if Kansas City loses and Buffalo wins and Cincinnati wins, they are 12-4. Kansas City's 13-4, and Buffalo and Cincinnati's winning percentage would be higher, which is what throws this whole neutral site thing into it. Because Kansas City even though played one more game, the other team's winning percentages are better. It would be a clusterfuck.
Correct.
I don't think that that's going to be an issue. Personally, I think Kansas City will be 14-3, get the first round bye, take first place in the AFC, because I think they will hand one to the Raiders.
That's what everybody wants.
They'll hand one to the Raiders this weekend. I think Jarrett Stidham, what we saw last week out of him, that was cute and all. Guess what? We know everything we need.
You're going to see cute on the other sidelines this week.
Pat Mahomes is going to show Jarrett Stidham what cute is.
What cute really is.
I think the Raiders as a team, that was great last week. They had their nice little, Mike White 350-yard, 4-touchdown day. I don't think it happens again.
We'll see that if he could do that against the Chiefs defense.
He ain't going to do it against the Chiefs defense. Realistically, the Chiefs, I think they've slept the last month of the year. If you want my honest opinion, I think they've slept through this. I think you're going to see them come out in the playoffs and absolutely dismantle somebody the first week. I don't know if they're going to play up to their full potential this week, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think the Raiders are defeated. I don't think they believe in their coach. They don't know who their quarterback's going to be. I think there's a lot more turmoil.
Jarrett Stidham.
I don't think Jarrett Stidham's going to be their QB1 next year. I think there's a lot
more. If McDaniels is gone, Stidham's gone.
I think there's a lot more turmoil there than what leads me.
Correct.
Than what meets the eye. Give me Kansas City -10, that over-under of 52. I'm going to take the under on this just because I really think Vegas is going to come out and look bad this weekend. And Kansas City has not been fully erect for the last month of the year.
Well, here's the thing. Kansas City, they get to that point where they play up to the level of who they're playing. So I'm going to take the over on this, and I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Bruce?
I'm taking the Chiefs.
The only reason why I'm saying taking the over is because they're playing in Vegas and not at Arrowhead. If they're playing at Arrowhead, I would take the under.
Yeah. I'm going to – so with that said –
you agree with that? Sort of.
With that said, that if that situation pans out, Kansas City will get the first round bye.
Good.
They will win the AFC. They will have home field advantage throughout.
And I'm going to be honest with you. The road for the AFC goes through Kansas City.
Yeah.
We're not stupid.
And realistically, I mean, I think them in Buffalo benefit the most from that home field advantage. Arrowhead's a absolutely atrocious
to go
play as an away team.
I don't think playing in Buffalo gives the Bills an advantage over anybody.
I don't
think
know why
if anything,
you keep saying that.
Well, because I've seen teams go into Buffalo and beat Buffalo at their home field. I don't think so. I think playing in Kansas City is like playing in Seattle. The home field advantage is the level is it shoots up in the air big time. And I think you can add Detroit to that. Detroit playing at home is a completely different team than on the road.
So yeah, but that takes out a big question mark. But essentially, what that does is get us one step closer to a neutral field AFC Championship game. But I think Kansas City will easily win that. So next up on the Saturday night special, we have a
divisional game
for a
division title
between the Tennessee Titans heading to Duval to play the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville's a 6.5-point favorite in this, over under a 40. And let's be realistic about this. Unless Derrick Henry just decides he is going to take over this game and absolutely he is the entire Tennessee Titans offense. Josh Dobbs is the starting quarterback. Ryan Tannehill out for the year. Malik Willis is awful at football. So the Titans' real option here is to hand the ball to Derrick Henry 50 times and pray.
Yeah, and you better just suit up.
Anyway, I'm going to take the Jaguars in this game. They're at home. I'm taking the Jaguars and giving up the 6.5, and I'm going to take the over in this game. I got a feeling that the Jaguars will probably put 35 at least on them.
I'm going to agree with you. I think Jacksonville's the hottest team in football right now. I think Jacksonville's the most underrated team in football right now. I think Jacksonville has the biggest chip on their shoulder. If you remember, this was a 3-win team last year.
Yeah.
Under Urban Meyer, who was impotent, who was an asshole.
He wasn't impotent in the bar setting that he was in.
No, he liked fingers and butts in a bar. But Jacksonville was such a disgusting shit show of an organization
Because
last
Urban
year.
Myers is garbage. That's why.
Is the world ending? And realistically, I if you look at this roster from top to bottom, they should be in this position. They should be where they're at. They're currently at 8-8. A win in this game will put them at 9-8, and will put them in the AFC South as the AFC South champions. Give me Jacksonville minus 6.5. I'm going to take the over in this game too for just a couple of reasons. One being Trevor Lawrence over the last month and a half, let's say
Been
6
real good.
weeks.
He's been good.
He has been a top 5 QB in this league by the numbers. He is playing extremely well. He's spreading the ball around great. Evan Ingram's emerging as one of the best tight end threats in the game.
His thing is, too, he's not turning the ball over. That's the key.
You took the words out of my mouth.
He hasn't been turning the ball over.
He has been protecting the football so well. And Travis Etienne,
Ever since that Detroit game, he's looked like a different quarterback.
Agree. Give me Jacksonville to win their division, to make it into the playoffs, and eliminate Tennessee. You know what? Every single year, it doesn't matter whether Tennessee wins 7 games or Tennessee wins 13 games, just like they did last year.
At what point does the Titans say, you know what, Mike? It's not working.
What
do you
think, at the end of the day, Tennessee does what they do every year. They're just not strong enough. Yeah. Offensively, they're too one-dimensional. They've got to get a good quarterback in there. You got to get rid of Tannehill. Malik Willis ain't the answer. They need to do
at
some
what point does Mike Vrabel? They need to move on from Mike Vrabel.
I think now's the time.
I mean, has he taken him as far as he can? It's looking that way.
Do you understand? This was at one point this year. This was Tennessee's division to absolutely run away with. Yeah. They were in complete control, and now in a situation where in the last game of the year,
6 in a row or something like that.
Yeah,
7 in a row.
The last game of the year they can lose it to Jacksonville. Jacksonville Jags. You know what? I wouldn't be shocked to see Jacksonville mess up somebody's playoff dreams too. Bruce?
Yeah. I mean, unless not Malik Willis. What am I thinking myself? Derrick Henry, puts the neck roll on, puts the back brace on, puts
maybe
the
they should just hand the ball to Malik Willis 40 times.
Honestly, that might work.
It's an idea.
Just pull Lamar Jackson.
Think about that.
That wins you 8 games this season.
Now, here's the thing going forward. I think whoever's going to have to play Jacksonville better fucking watch out. That team could beat anybody on any given day.
So we're all in agreement on the first two. They're deciding Jacksonville a playoff spot. Next up, your NFC South champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, are heading up to Atlanta to play the Falcons, who are eliminated from playoff contention. Atlanta's a 4-point.
For absolutely nothing.
This game means absolutely nothing. Atlanta a 4-point favorite in this game, over under a 40.5. Here's the thing. Todd Bowles already came out and said that Kyle Trask will get playing time this week. Came out and said you could see Blaine Gabbert. And guess what?
If Tom Brady is not playing in this game, I'm taking the Falcons.
There's no reason for Tampa to risk. I mean, Fournette, let him go out there, run the ball 3 times like he usually does, and be done. Put Mike Evans out there for the first 10 snaps.
Give
take
Godwin
him out.
the day off.
Give Godwin the day. Yeah, please, for the love of God. Have Brady go out there the first drive and score a touchdown and get off the field. I couldn't give a shit less about who wins this game. I
don't think anybody cares who wins this game, to be honest with you. All it is giving what's that kid's name from the Falcons?
Desmond Ridder.
They're just giving Desmond Ridder reps at this point.
Well,
hopefully he doesn't get hurt. And just call this game right here. If there's any game that should have been postponed and not played, it's this one. Okay, maybe that was not nice, but it is what it is.
Well, here's the thing. There is one thing in this game that matters, and this is why I'm going to take Tampa Bay to win this game outright.
Okay. Even with Tom Brady not playing?
Even with Tom Brady not playing, I'm going to take Tampa Bay to win this game. Tom Brady has never been on a team in his entire 23-year illustrious career that was under 500. A loss this week would give them a chance to do that. You know what?
Hey, It's meaningless, though.
It's meaningless. I know that. I get it.
And if he's not playing,
I think he's
let's all be serious. If he's not playing, I truly think the Falcons have a chance of winning.
I'm going to take one out of his book because all he does is talk about how great he is. Give me Kyle Trask because Uncle Sam said he was a prodigy, and give me Tampa Bay to win.
I thought for sure that
and the under, please. For
the best coach of all time was going to draft Kyle Trask, and I was wrong.
Yeah, you should be all over Tampa this week.
I'm not.
I think Kyle Trask is better than Desmond Ridder. Give me Tampa. Give me the under.
Okay.
Bruce?
Tampa Bay, baby. Tommy boy.
Whatever that means.
Next up in Buffalo. Now, this game's a very interesting one to talk about here because
Divisional game.
What is it?
Divisional game.
Divisional game with a lot of marbles on the line. New England's heading up to Buffalo to play the Bills. Buffalo's a 7-point favorite, over under 43.5, which is a low one for a Bills game, but I'll say this. I think we can expect one of two Bills teams to come out. An extremely motivated and extremely hot and ready to go Bills team.
I think that's what you're going to see.
Fighting for their guy in the hospital, which I think this morning, him getting on FaceTime with them, talking to all of them, I think that's going to help in a big way here. But New England.
Can New England withstand the first 5 minutes of this game? Because that's going to tell you the game right there. If New England can stay in this game for the first quarter, I think they have a good chance of winning this game. But if there's two ways this is going to happen. The Bills will come out and put 21 on them in the first quarter, and it'll be over. I think if they can get through the first quarter without being down too much, I think they got a chance to stay in this game and win it.
This game means everything for New England.
It does.
And if New England wins, they're in. If they lose,
Buffalo already knows their spot. They're not dumb. They know where they're at. They know their spot. They won their division.
And you know what?
And I don't know. I just think New England has more to play for in this game.
New England does have more to play for.
The 43.5, I'm going to say go the over on that, and I'm taking the 7.
So you're taking New England to win this game?
Correct, in the 7 points.
I'm taking Buffalo all the way. I think exactly what you said is going to happen. I think Buffalo's going to come out absolutely
I'm hoping it doesn't.
On fire, put up 21 in the first quarter. I think this game, realistically, for me, is going to be close to over at the half. I think Buffalo will be able to...
There's two ways it's going to go. It's either they can come out of the first quarter unscathed, or they will come out and this game will be over in the first quarter.
I think it's going to be over. I don't think Josh Allen plays the second half of this one.
No.
And New England,
all you fantasy owners that think they're going to play Josh Allen this week, good luck with that.
And you know what? I think this will be the game where, New England back and forth all year. Lose a couple shitty games, get a big win. Mac Jones tells Matt Patricia to go fuck himself. Then they come out and win the game. I think all of that's put to rest here. I think New England, it has been too dysfunctional, too inconsistent, don't have enough weapons. Mac Jones is not that good. They have the world's biggest fucking oaf as their offensive coordinator, and it all comes out this week against a very hot Buffalo team. Give me the Bills -7, over under a 43. I'm going to take the over because I think Buffalo is going to put up a mad amount.
They might put that 40 up by themselves.
Yeah, I'm going to take that Buffalo to absolutely roll in this game, solidifying their spot as the second seed in the playoffs and eliminating New England in the process.
I truly think it'll be close. If they don't get blown out in that first quarter, it'll be a close game.
I literally have nothing else to say because you just said everything that I could have said. So, yeah, I'm taking the Buffalo Bills.
Marijuana's a hell of a drug.
And I'm taking notes, so.
Yeah, good. He's taking notes today. That's a good thing.
Marijuana's a hell of a drug.
Next up in a
divisional game,
Minnesota heading to Chicago to play the Bears in
and Justin Fields is out.
Justin Fields is out. Minnesota.
Well, I think we can all sum this up.
You want to know something?
Yes.
I don't know why.
You like the Bears.
I don't know why.
You like the Bears in this game.
Minnesota has just... Let's say this. I think Minnesota's going to... Justin Fields not playing. Nathan Peterman is the starting quarterback for the Bears this weekend. There's absolutely no reason.
Nothing to play for here.
Nothing to play for. Besides, if you win this game, you might take yourself out of the first overall pick in the draft. Okay? Guess what? This game is so putrid.
Yeah, but you know what? The Vikings have a chance to move up in the seeding.
I mean, not necessarily. Yes.
I mean, they could go to a 2.
They would need San Francisco and Philly to lose.
And then they could go to a 2.
And I mean, yeah, but both of those teams are playing shit bags this week. I don't think it's going to happen. This game is meaningless for Minnesota and meaningless for Chicago, in my opinion.
Does Kirk Cousins play the second half of this game?
No, I don't think so. And at the end of the day, do I think Minnesota will accidentally win this game? Yeah,
Yes.
I do. I expect the under here. Minnesota's been so fucking just, I don't even know what to make of them. Here's the thing. If Minnesota wins this game, they'll be 13-4. They'll have won the division. They will be the 2 or 3 seed in the playoffs. Doesn't make a difference. They will be, without a question asked, the luckiest and absolute worst 13-win team in NFL history.
Okay.
Do you disagree?
Well, no. But we all agreed that the Baltimore Ravens were the shittiest
Awful. They're the
team
shittiest
that
10-win
possibly
team.
could win their division also.
Yeah, they're. I don't think they'll win their division. We'll talk about that
With
here
the
in a
backup
second.
quarterback.
But Baltimore, to me, is the biggest playoff fluke.
You know
followed
what?
by
I
Minnesota.
will say this. Everybody's talking about the San Francisco 49ers, Mr. Irrelevant. Listen to me. Fucking Baltimore's been doing that all just for the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Baltimore, I'll say
Baltimore's
this.
D has not done.
Baltimore
It doesn't matter. They're
is
still winning
the
ball games,
luckiest-
and they're doing it with a backup quarterback.
And guess what?
Yeah, their dreams are about to come to an end
Yeah.
here.
Bruce,
Anyway.
you got a pick in this one?
Where are we at?
Minnesota and the Bears.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that. You know, you were actually on. I'm having a feeling of like last year when the Lions played Green Bay that last game of the year. Green Bay didn't care.
So what are you saying? The Bears are going to
taking-
win this game?
I'm going to take the Bears.
Oh, wow. Did you hear that?
You know what? Honest to God, I could see the Bears covering in this. I don't see them winning because I don't think if Minnesota drops this game, that's just putrid.
I'm taking Minnesota, and I'm taking the under.
Well, they're not. Are they started? They're still fighting for.
No, they're done. I mean, everything for the most part. I mean, if Minnesota wins and somehow
They could go to the highest thing goes 2 seed.
somehow Philadelphia or Frisco fucking drops one, I don't think that's gonna happen. But either way, in another
Fuck yeah, I'm sticking with the Bears.
Okay. Divisional game.
Baltimore's heading down to Cincinnati to play the Bengals for a game with that definitely has some ramifications on it. Now, because Cincinnati did not play this week,
Nice.
last week, Baltimore can no longer catch them at 10-6, Cincinnati at 11-4. Cincinnati, by default, after they have officially canceled that game, has won their division. So, Baltimore will be a wild card team because they have they have clinched a playoff spot. Cincinnati, the division champions.
They got to get tuned up before the playoffs start. So,
Well, This is here's the biggest thing of all.
yeah.
Baltimore wins this game. Then there's a situation where Cincinnati and Baltimore play again next week.
That's awesome.
Okay?
That's awesome.
And realistically, even if Cincinnati wins too, they will play each other again next week.
So they're playing each other. I don't think that's happened since I think Green Bay did that with Detroit back in the 90s one time.
Here we are.
They played the last game of the season, and I think Green Bay won the division, and they had to turn around and play the Lions, who were a wild card, the following week, and they won that game too.
So, for me personally, Baltimore is I personally think we don't know if Lamar Jackson's going to play. It's trending towards the fact that he's not.
If Lamar Jackson plays this game, I would take them. But obviously, where the point spread is, the Bengals are getting 10 points in this game. Jackson's not going to play. I'm taking Cincinnati in the over.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They asked John Harbaugh yesterday about Lamar Jackson's status for the playoffs, and his answer to me was very bleak.
What did he say?
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Well, that means that's a nice way of saying absolutely not. We're not going to see him.
I'm sorry, but
If he doesn't play,
I
they're
think
done.
Lamar's fucking.
They're done. If he doesn't play, they're done. They're going to lose this week, and they're going to lose in the first round. All right, let's move on.
you want me to be honest with you?
Yeah.
I think Lamar Jackson is at a point where he doesn't give a shit to play for this team anymore. I think he's not going to play this week. I think there's a chance that he doesn't play in week 1 of the playoffs.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. That's not a very reliable source there.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I think that Cincinnati absolutely runs train on Baltimore in this game, and I think they probably
do too.
will in the first week of the playoffs.
I'm definitely taking the Bengals in this game, giving up to 10.
Yep.
And I'm taking the over, not the under.
I am too, because I think
Cincinnati's going to put 40 up by themselves.
Baltimore cannot score points.
That's the
Cannot score
problem.
points.
That's the problem. They got a kicker that's scoring fucking
12 points a game.
15 points a game.
Points a game. At the end of the day, Baltimore cannot do that against a really good team. Their defense is no match for Cincinnati. Give me Cincinnati minus 10. That over-under, I'm going to take the over because I think Cincinnati hits it on their own.
We talk about the next game, the shit show of the week.
I'm officially coining this game.
The shittiest game of all time.
This right here is the toilet bowl. Houston heading to
Week 18
Indianapolis
toilet bowl.
to play the Colts.
Okay.
Houston sitting pretty at 2-13-1. Indianapolis sitting pretty at 4-11-1. And Indy is a 2.5-point favorite in this game. The over/under is 38.
Is slinging Nick Foles starting this game?
Big Dick Nick. Honest to God, I don't know.
I don't care if he is playing. I'm going to say this and say it one time. I'm taking the Houston Texans to beat the Colts, and I'm taking the over on the 38.
Yes. I saw something the other day that talked about how Nick Foles is our generation's Trent Dilfer. And I mean, I couldn't agree with anything more. If he doesn't play, we get a Sam Ellinger matchup here. I don't give a fuck. Give me Houston, too.
Okay.
Who cares? Give me Houston. Hey, if you're looking to us for who to bet on in the Houston-Indianapolis game, you need to have your fucking head examined as it is.
If Houston wins this game, that'll be their third win. The Chicago Bears get the first overall pick.
I believe they do.
They do.
Yeah, because they have the tie.
Houston has a tie.
Right.
Who'd you take?
So that should...
Who'd you take?
Houston.
Yeah.
I took Houston to win this game and absolutely fuck up the first overall pick.
Can you imagine?
What?
They could go out and get their franchise QB. Well, honestly...
you know what? I think they're going to get one anyway.
Yeah, Chicago. I don't see Chicago taking a
quarterback.
quarterback.
In this next draft coming up, you got two guys that are going to go 1-2.
Well, no. If Chicago's the first overall pick, I don't think they take quarterback.
Really?
Or even if they have the second pick.
If Chicago's first pick overall, who do you take? You take Will Anderson.
You want me to be honest with you? If I was Chicago, I would trade out of one of the top.
I would trade back.
Yeah, so would I.
I would trade back and hope to God that there's a team out there that's willing to move up, a Carolina or something.
We got 4 months that we need to talk about this.
That's
got more
coming.
pressing issues.
It's coming. I can't wait.
El Jefe.
Anyway, moving down to
He
Miami.
didn't even make his pick. He's sitting here.
I'm sorry.
El Jefe.
What is El Jefe?
Jeff Saturday.
You're taking the Colts.
He's taking
In the Colts.
That's
Sammy
amazing.
Ellinger. Here we go.
I am astounded what marijuana does to the brain.
You're
Go ahead.
Houston. The shit bowl.
There's no win
right.
there. It's the toilet
All right.
bowl. Next up, in a game where we have Joe Flacco versus Skylar Thompson, the New York Jets are heading down to South Beach to play the Dolphins. Miami, a 3-point favorite in this game, a whopping over-under. Can you believe that in a game with Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson,
37 points.
The over-under is lower in this game
Than the Colts
than in
game.
Houston, Indianapolis.
Oh shit!
That shows you how great a quarterbacking we have in this one. And
You know what? I am not going to say that. I think the New York Jets have the what?
fuck off with the Joe Flacco take right now, okay?
I would rather be starting Joe Flacco than Skylar Thompson.
I wouldn't. At the end of the day, Miami has something to play for. The Jets don't. The Jets were eliminated last week. If Miami wins, they're in.
Listen, this is Robert Saleh's last chance to redeem something this season. And what better way to do it than to knock the Miami Dolphins out of the
With
playoffs?
Joe Flacco.
With Joe Flacco. Big slinging Joe.
Big slinging Joe.
Here we go. I'm going to be honest with you.
Go ahead.
It's just not. It's,
All right, so you're
this is
taking the
not gonna be
Dolphins,
pretty.
obviously.
This is not going to be
over or
pretty.
under? Are you going to go over or under?
I'm going to take the over just because, I mean, Jesus Christ. The Jets defense hasn't done anything for me.
Bruce is, I think we're losing Bruce.
Is he aspirating over there?
We have the defibrillator down here.
Give me Miami -3. Give me the over. I don't see this being a very high-scoring game, but I see Miami being able to get another extra touchdown on the Jets look fucking awful.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm taking the Jets and I'm taking Joe Flacco to upset the Miami Dolphins and knock them out of the playoffs. And I'm taking the over.
Well, here's the thing. The Dolphins, if somehow if New England beats Buffalo, the Dolphins are eliminated.
Okay.
So,
But you don't have to worry about that happening. So.
right. So,
That's why I'm taking the Jets.
the goddamned Jets. I'm not.
Gangrene, baby.
I really want to take the Jets. Like, really bad.
I got news for you.
But I'm taking the Dolphins.
I'll be honest. Dolphins win this game, make it in. Tua comes back for the playoffs.
They're dangerous.
They're fucking
dangerous.
And you got to watch out for that team. Sorry, you do. Because then you're in a situation where they're going to play
Anyway.
no, they would play Buffalo.
Ooh. A little rematch, huh?
Spicy there,
I
right?
hear ya.
That's what I'm saying.
And they beat Buffalo already this year.
1-1.
Don't count
They're
them out
1-1
yet.
against Buffalo.
Don't
That's
count them out
spicy.
till the Jets beat them this week.
That's spicy. Jesus, God in heaven. And another absolutely fucking meaningless
divisional game.
Carolina heading to New Orleans to play the Saints. And I know you were just absolutely just purple about the Buccaneers' big win last week. But
My God.
do you think Carolina bounces back this week against the Saints? I don't.
The Saints defense is for real. They're no bullshit.
New Orleans a 3.5-point favorite in this game, over under a 41.5. I think Carolina is.
You know what? I'm taking Carolina in this game.
What in the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm taking Carolina in this game, and I'm taking the over.
I'm not going to spend any more time on this. Give me New Orleans and give me the under.
Yeah.
I mean, both these. This is the most average game ever.
Okay.
Next up, in another very average game that does have a little bit of playoff ramifications.
Divisional game.
It is
Divisional game.
where Cleveland is heading down to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. Pittsburgh a 2-point favorite, over under a 40.5. So in order for Pittsburgh to make the playoffs, they have to win this game. They
And beat
need
the Browns.
Buffalo to beat New England.
And they're at
they
home.
need the Jets to beat Miami. If all three of those things happen, Pittsburgh gets a spot. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think those things will happen because I personally see the Dolphins winning and taking that last spot. But I think Pittsburgh does win this game. I think Cleveland has silent turmoil going on right now. Their defense ain't that great. Deshaun Watson looks average at best. Give me Pittsburgh -2.
And Jadeveon Clowney was sent home.
Yeah. I mean, fuck. I think Pittsburgh's a 10 or 11 win team next year. Give me Pittsburgh to win this game. You know what? They are one of my biggest surprises of the year because I didn't think they were going to be more than a 5-win
thought for sure
team.
that they wouldn't win 4 games this year.
Give me Pittsburgh. I like what they're doing right now.
I do too. I'll take Pittsburgh in the over.
I'm going to take the Steelers. But speaking of Cleveland, Peyton Hillis is reportedly in critical condition after saving his kids from drowning in a pool.
You know what? I did see something of that pop up on my.
In their pool?
Yeah.
In their own
The kid was
pool?
drowning in the pool.
No, it says in the ocean. Sorry,
In the ocean. I was just saying, a pool didn't make any
In
sense.
the ocean.
Oh, wow.
I saw something about that. Remember, he was. Didn't he make it onto the Madden cover one year?
He did.
Yeah,
It was 2012.
Well,
Right here.
T's and P's up to. Thoughts and
Thoughts and
prayers.
prayers out to Peyton Hillis and his family. Hopefully they're okay.
Wild start to the year already.
Hero as fuck.
Wild start to the year.
It's always a wild start to a new year.
Next up,
First of the 425 games.
first of the 425 games, the Chargers are heading to Mile High to play the Broncos. I don't know how, but Denver's a 3-point favorite in this one, over under a 40. Realistically,
What am I looking at?
I'm Justin Herbert questionable going into this one.
Okay. So is he playing?
Yeah,
Is he playing or
we
no?
don't know for sure yet if
Or is
Justin
it,
Herbert's
what's
going
his
to
name?
play.
Chase Daniels?
Yeah, it might be a Chase Daniel affair.
No wonder why, it's only 3 points.
Either way, I don't think the Chargers really give a fuck about this game. I mean, big deal. If I was them, I'd probably want to drop this game.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Give me the Chargers to win this +3, even with Chase Daniel. We're due for a Russell Wilson debacle. Over under a 40. Give me the under. I think the Chargers will accidentally win this game, to be honest.
I do too.
Guess what?
Any under.
I am so fucking excited to see the Chargers-Jacksonville game week 1 of the playoffs. Sorry, I think that is going to be just an absolute duel. Give me Los Angeles to win this game. I don't know how. Los Angeles could send out their entire practice squad, and I think they'd still have a chance in this one. Even though Denver's looked a little bit better, they're still flaccid. Give me the Chargers and the under, because if Chase Daniel plays, it's gonna be a 17-9 game.
I already took the Chargers in the under. What are you taking?
I'm taking the Chargers.
Okay.
Are we
under,
in
over?
agreement across the board?
Well, I
today?
take the Chargers every week. So
Okay. Anyway.
Next up
the year.
in A,
Divisional game.
with a couple of ramifications here. Realistically, the Giants are kind of locked into their spot at 9-6-1. It doesn't really matter if Seattle wins, Detroit wins, Green Bay wins, all the above. They can't jump them because of that tie. So they, even if they lose, they'd be 9-7-1 versus an 8-loss team. So they are in their spot. They cannot jump Dallas. Philadelphia, a win in this game would lock up the first round bye, home field advantage, the division championship, because they are only 1 game ahead of Dallas. So realistically, we're in a situation if Philadelphia loses and Dallas wins, it's Dallas's division, and Philadelphia becomes a wild card team, shockingly. I don't think we need to worry about that. Daniel Jones probably not playing in this one. Again, the Giants have their playoff spot locked down. I don't think you risk injury to Saquon Barkley. I don't think you risk injury to one of the 3 awful receivers you have, because God forbid one gets hurt. You are done. Give me Philadelphia. I think they'll win this game by 2 touchdowns, realistically. I think give me the over. Justin Fields trending towards Jalen Hurts trending towards playing, and I think he wants to kind of, rub everybody's face in a little bit for all the shit talking that's been going on as of late.
Oh, yeah.
Give me Philly. Give me Philly to win the division. The first place team in the AFC, win it all, and get the bye.
I agree. I'm taking Eagles in the over.
Now, for the Giants, that means that most likely they're going to play Minnesota in the first round of the playoffs.
And that's an interesting game right there. If I remember right, Minnesota barely beat them.
Minnesota barely beat everybody they beat
That's
this
true.
year. But that will be a very interesting game in my eyes. And I think, you want me to be honest?
If you remember, the Giants had a chance to really close it out on them. They lost in the last second.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
There's a little bit more at play here than I think meets the eye. Because hypothetically, let's say the Giants win this game and beat Philadelphia. Then you have a situation where Philadelphia slides and
To
they
the 2 spot. Then Philadelphia has to play.
Let's say Philadelphia loses.
Correct.
Yeah.
Who do they play then in the first round? In the first round of the playoffs, who they going to
Hold on,
play?
I'm trying to
after
do the math
second
here.
Pick? They
They
would
would-
the 6th seed,
They would
Or
play the
7th.
bottom seed.
the bottom seed.
Correct.
Okay.
But I think it benefits the Giants the most to take an L in this game, get Philadelphia out of the way, and play Minnesota in the first round.
I mean, if I was the Giants, that's what I would do.
Because hypothetically, let's say the
Well, if they're
Giants,
not playing Daniel Jones, you already know they kind of packed.
if the Giants beat Philly
Correct.
and San Francisco wins,
San
Frisco
Francisco
gets
goes
the
to
1 seed, or vice versa with Dallas. You know what I mean?
Right.
realistically, if I were them, I would want to play Minnesota in the first round and lose this game. I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
Okay.
Did you make a pick?
You know what my pick is.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly, baby.
Okay.
Next up. Wow, that was a big one. Arizona heading to the Bay Area to play the 49ers. San Francisco, a 2-touchdown favorite, over under of 39.5. My God.
They're
Give me
just
San
getting ready for the playoffs at this point.
Yeah.
It's another easy.
I don't think
And
they
who's
need
quarterbacking for the Cardinals?
I don't know.
Still, what was his
David
name?
Blau.
David Blau?
David Blau.
Yeah, I'll take the 49ers in this.
2 touchdowns.
And I'm going to take
But
I'm gonna take the over.
last week, so
Bruce.
49ers. Come on, man.
Okay, and we know 49ers playoff situation. They've won the division. They are at least in the 2 spot. Again, if they win, which they will this weekend, and Philadelphia loses, they could jump them. Personally, for me, I think what we see out of the NFC right now is how things are going to stay. As far as the leaders go, I think Philadelphia will win and be the 1 seed. I think San Francisco will win and be the 2 seed. I think Minnesota will win and be the 3 seed. In Tampa, doesn't fucking matter. But I think that's the way it's going to stay.
Okay.
Next up, in a game that means everything for Bruce and Detroit Lions fans across the world, the Los Angeles Rams. Isn't it funny how the last year all the Detroit fans rooted so hard for the Rams, and now we really need them to come in the clutch?
That disgusted me more than anything in the
You know who I'd
world.
rather it be there right now? Stafford and Cooper Kupp.
Well, guess what? Neither you get Baker Mayfield and Tutu Atwell.
There you
the
go.
The Rams are heading up to Seattle to play the
Wearing his
Seahawks.
tutu.
Baker and Tutu Atwell are Bruce's saving grace on this year for the Lions. Seattle, 6-point favorite, over under a 41.5. Seattle wins. For the moment, they stay in that playoff spot.
Right.
If Seattle wins and Green Bay wins, Green Bay's in.
Correct.
If Seattle wins and Green Bay loses, Seattle's in. And if Seattle loses, they're out. This is the definition of a must-win for Seattle.
Bobby Wagner coming back to Seattle.
The Rams going up there to play them. Bobby Wagner coming back. The Rams 2 weeks ago putting up 51 points. I don't know what to make of this game, but guess what? At the end of the day, there's no bigger boner in the world in must-win situations than Pete Carroll. I don't trust Geno Smith. I don't trust the Seahawks defense, and I'm going to do something unprecedented here, and I'm going to take Baker Mayfield, Tutu Atwell to eliminate the Seattle Seahawks. I think Bobby Wagner absolutely fucking stomps on Pete Carroll's wiener, and I think they're going to eliminate Seattle and create a situation on Sunday Night Football for all of the marbles, and I can't wait for it. Give me Los Angeles. Give me the over.
Wow. Absolutely incredible. I'm going to take, Kenneth Walker has 900 and
not against Bobby Wagner.
936 yards rushing and 9 touchdowns this year. Expect Kenneth Walker to go over 1,000 yards. I'm taking the Seahawks to win this game, even giving up to 6 points, and I'm taking the over.
So you're eliminating the Lions from playoff contention.
Exactly.
Wow.
I will be taking the Los Angeles Rams because, A, Geno Smith has been regressing week
It doesn't matter. He's going to turn around and hand the ball off.
after
And
week.
the 12th man over
Bobby
there is
Wagner
Caw-caw!
will have
Caw-caw! The 12th man.
he will have Geno Smith and Kenneth Walker both on their backs because that man can win you games by himself.
I think this game means more to the Rams for pride than a lot of people think. Obviously, it means everything. To
This means everything to Pete Carroll right here. Listen, everybody at the beginning of the year had the Seahawks winning fucking 4 games, myself included. I thought they were going to be the worst team in football.
Agree.
And guess what? They've proved they're not.
Baker Mayfield stumbles himself into the end zone once, accidentally throws a touchdown, and maybe a rushing touchdown.
Okay.
That's the game.
Anyway.
Did I surprise you there a little bit?
What he says?
No, me.
You said
No,
it.
you surprised
You
me.
said
I
it
was
last,
shocked.
You said it on the last episode. I knew it was coming.
I was shocked.
Next up,
hear it.
in A,
Divisional game.
that means a lot for Dallas. The Cowboys are heading to Washington to play the Commanders. in what I think could be another trap game. Dallas a 7-point favorite, over under a 41. Taylor Heineke will be the starting quarterback in this game. Sam Howell will get playing time in this game. Don't know why they decided to do it now, but here we go. Ron Rivera fighting for Dickhead of the Year with Pete Carroll. Washington loved what they did. Ron Rivera made a huge boner last week by playing Carson Wentz. Everybody in the world knew the guy was washed besides him. Washington eliminating themselves from the playoffs last week. Dallas, realistically, they'll know. They will know. Well, no, they won't, because both these games are at 4:30. Dallas needs this to win their division. Do I think they really give a shit? Not really. Not really. They're in. It doesn't matter.
All I'm going to say is this. Mike McCarthy is involved in this whole situation. That's all I'm going to say.
I think Dallas wins this week. Washington played so hard. They were so gritty, and I think they got deflated by their own coach last week. Give me Dallas -7. Over under a 41. Give me the over. And that would
agree.
put Dallas.
I agree with everything you said. I'm taking the Cowboys in the over.
That would put Dallas as a 13-win wild card team.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
And they will go to Tampa Bay week 1
Wow.
of the playoffs.
And then lose.
Probably.
Anyway.
I don't even know, dude.
Are you so high you just can't stand it right now?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Give me the Cowboys.
Okay.
Next up,
Even though I want them to lose.
in the game of the year,
Sunday night game. The divisional game.
For
last game of the
every-
year.
last fucking marble,
Literally the last game of the season.
the last game of the season.
Literally.
Literally.
The 8-8 Detroit Lions heading to
Imagine.
their favorite place to play, Lambeau Field, to play the 8-8 Green Bay Packers, literally for all the marbles. If Seattle loses earlier in the day and the Detroit Lions win this game, they are playoff bound. If Green Bay wins this game, it doesn't matter. They are playoff bound. The only thing that can kill both of these teams' chances is a tie, which, could you imagine if there's a tie in this game? Not going to
What
happen.
the fuck would even happen?
Seattle goes.
Seattle goes. Yep.
Oh.
Give me the Detroit Lions in this game to upset the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay a 4.5-point favorite, the over-under of 49. I said I would not take... I said I would take the Lions every game the rest of the year, and even though I don't think there's a chance in hell Aaron Rodgers loses this game and rips out Bruce's heart and serves it to him on a silver platter, I am going to take the Detroit Lions because they could be a team of destiny. If Seattle fucking loses that game, Detroit will win and make the playoffs on accident. Give me Detroit plus 4.5. The over under 49. Give me the over. I think it's going to be Point Mageddon in this game. Go ahead.
The Detroit Lions are not the same team on the road as they are at Ford Field. If this game was at Ford Field, I'd take the Lions all the way. I'm taking the Green Bay Packers to win this game and
The Kool-Aid
essentially take the
right
7th
out the
spot in the
fucking
playoffs.
window, huh? Real fucking Lions
That's it.
fan you are.
I am a Lions fan, asshole, but I'm a reality person too. And this is reality. The reality is this. Detroit hasn't played a game like this
The reality is
in a decade.
that the Green Bay Packers are playing a juggernaut, not a fake juggernaut like the Minnesota Vikings. They're playing a juggernaut.
Yeah.
They're playing a team that
here,
will
you just said it
drive
yourself.
you into the ground.
Hold on. You just said it yourself. What happened last week? What happened to Minnesota last week?
They lost.
And they got blown out by who?
juggernauted.
They aren't a
And
juggernaut.
they got juggernauted by who?
Green Bay's fake?
No,
Green Bay's
no,
fake?
Minnesota's fake.
Okay, but
Well, we
it
know
doesn't
that.
matter.
We know
Green Bay
Minnesota's
put a
fake.
50 on them last
Detroit
year.
already proved that Minnesota was fake.
Right.
Well, what are you talking about? Dan Campbell hadn't fucking gave away that first game against Minnesota. We wouldn't even talk about this right now.
Can you catch your breath before
Do 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 do.
Yeah, believe it, dude. I'm
I
fine.
want to hear what you're saying.
You're fucking high. Shut up. I'm taking Green Bay to win this game. Who you taking, dumbass? Obviously, you're taking Detroit.
The Lions.
Huh?
Aaron Rodgers needs to stop running his mouth. I'm taking the Lions.
Aaron Rodgers also said that this team wasn't the same old Lions,
Right.
and they're a lot better than they
Correct,
used
but
to be.
now it's shit talking time. Now it's shit talking time.
What does that mean?
He's talking shit now.
Who's
Now,
talking
Pat
shit?
McAfee talking shit.
You are? You're
No.
talking shit? Why? Because Aaron Rodgers said it's not the same old Lions team? They're a lot better than they used to be? Is that what he said or no?
That's
That
what he
was the
said.
last
This
thing
was a
he
long
said about
time ago.
Detroit.
No.
What about the 7-7 team? A team that wasn't above 500? Is that what you're talking about?
Comment he made a week ago that you said he said.
That was the comment he made about them being a 500 team. A 500 team. And he talked about the Lions being a 500 team. That's all he said. But he didn't mention the Lions, so that offended some people, which is stupid.
I don't care.
Give me Aaron
Either
Rodgers,
way,
baby.
the Lions are winning that game. Doesn't
Okay.
matter if Seattle.
So you think
loses
Jared
big.
Goff's going to have a huge game
Doesn't
like he's
matter.
been having?
Correct.
Right. And if he doesn't throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns,
I
you're
don't
going to
even
just
think it
talk all kinds of garbage?
I think if it comes down to the fact that if they realize that Jared Goff in the passing game is not working, let's not get away from the run game, which works very successfully, which what lost them the Carolina game.
The Packers have won 5 out of their last 8. And you know why they won the 5 out of their last 8? Their fucking defense. Their defense is finally showing up. So get ready. Going to be a cold night. A cold, blistery night. And I want to see you with your Aaron Rodgers jersey on. Do you have an Aaron Rodgers jersey here?
I already won my bet.
He already won his bet.
I'm about to win mine if the Patriots upset the Buffalo Bills.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
The bet was. We already talked about this 2 weeks ago.
No, we
The
didn't.
bet was more than 9, and they could no longer win more
If
than
they
9.
win 9, I'm good with that.
Yeah, but you still lose your bet.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
You
It was
do.
more than 9.
More than 9. Why are you taking the headphones off? We're not done.
The only reason why they lost all those games is the goddamn Matt Patricia shitbag.
Anyways,
else?
is
Anyway,
there,
what?
who's your lock of the week? I want to do locks this week. Pick a lock. Bruce, you got a lock?
The LA Rams.
Who's your lock?
My lock?
Yes, your lock.
My lock, Cincinnati at Baltimore. Or Cincinnati over Baltimore.
All right, my lock is the Pittsburgh Steelers beating fucking the Cleveland Browns.
Very nice. Very nice. And obviously my upset of the week. I think the Rams are going to take out down Seattle.
Your upset of the week is who?
Rams over Seattle.
The Rams over Seattle.
I changed my
Interesting.
lock.
Sure, go ahead.
49ers.
My upset of the week
Make
is
my
New England
upset.
Patriots beating the Buffalo Bills.
It is.
It is. Off my upset of the week.
Wow.
The New England Patriots taking out the Buffalo Bills and making the playoffs, and Bill Belichick solidifying that he's the greatest coach of all time.
I can't wait for Monday's show, our Tuesday show. My bad. I think it's going to be absolutely electric. I'm excited. This week is going to be, especially now that we got good news on Damar Hamlin, because okay, realistically, that would have put a damper on the weekend if we wouldn't have gotten the news that we've gotten today.
Hey, I think everybody on the planet is happy he's alive.
Absolutely,
Everybody.
absolutely.
You know, let's say this. God bless him. Let's move on from it. I'm sure he's tired of hearing all the shit too. I know I would be, even if it was me and I was coming out of my cardiac arrest. I'd be like, it's enough. Stop already.
Okay. Anything else to add before we head out?
That is the last thing that you want to hear. Like,
Yeah, dude.
go
I
through
mean,
that
come on,
shit.
dude. Listen to
Yeah.
me. Listen to me. If I was in his spot, and I will be soon, because I am in my final stages of heart failure, I will be literally tell you everything that will be on your mind after going through that. And when it happens, I will make sure Sam is there with a camera and record all of it.
Some of it might have.
Outside of that, do you have anything else to add?
I don't think you'll be strong enough to do it.
I'll be fine. Bruce? I won't send Bruce because he'll miss the content.
Yeah,
so.
I'll be dead. I'll be dead for 10 minutes before Bruce gets it. He'd be like,
make
"Hey,
sure
dude,
I'm
your
late."
uncle's hard and cold."
I'll make sure I'm late. Anything else?
That's it. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. We will be back next week ready to fucking go for the playoffs. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Tip Balls.
God bless Joe Flacco.
And on TikTok at Tip Balls Podcast. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Music, be sure to check us out on YouTube. And remember to click subscribe. Thank you guys so much for another week. We'll talk to you in the playoffs.
Am I perfect?